Seyi Makinde has been working on upgrading Ibadan Airport to international standards. Of what significance is that to us in the state?
Oh, thank you very much. First and foremost, let me appreciate and thank His Excellency Engineer Oluseyi Makinde for doing this wonderful job, especially focusing more on the tourism sector. You can see that most of these tourist destinations have been developing and are having some kind of facelift in terms of development stage. Everybody knows that the gateway to any country or any state is the airport. A tourist will definitely assess your state or your country through the entry point, which happens to be the airport. So when the governor now think and deem it fit that such airport need an uplift, upgrading into an international standard, I think such government has to be given kudos, because when you consider what tourism has done to countries such as Gambia, Kenya, South Africa, and the likes, because everybody knows that tourism is life. And that's the best alternative to oil that we are focusing now. And majorly Dubai today, what they get from the tourism is even more than what they get from the oil. So if Oyo State can focus, as Engineer Seyi Makinde is doing, on tourism, it's going to generate more revenue through visitor spending, through creating numerous jobs and visitor spending in the state, hotels, lounge, clubs, all these keep on growing, and by the time when people come into your state, visit all these tourist destinations, sleep in an hotel, go to lunch, take a food, maybe amala, which is commonly known as food tourism in Oyo State, the revenue is going to increase, and an average Oyo State indigene that sells and promotes tourism here is going to have something back into their purse. So tourism is very, very important, and it's essential, and it's part of life, and it doesn't cost anything from the government than to just place the infrastructure on ground, and which Engineer Seyi Makinde is doing. Having an international airport in Ibadan, I don't need to route my ticket down to Lagos anymore. I'll just do it down to Ibadan. And from the airport, I drive down to my home. Like several other passengers that lives in Ibadan, lives in Ife, lives in Iwo, they are going to benefit from this airport. So it's very, very important. And remember, Ibadan has one of the biggest markets in sub-Saharan Africa, which is Gbagi market. And I understand that most of these market women do ply their trades through China and Dubai at times. Having an airport here will save them some cost of taking their goods from Lagos down to Ibadan, and also minimize the risk of flying the road at late hours. So it's very, very important. We really applauded it. We appreciate it. In fact, my association, the National Association of Nigerian Travel Agencies, was in support of that idea of upgrading the airport to the international standard. This is one of the key things investors think about before they come into your country: the accessibility to your state. As an investor in the US or in London wanted to invest in a particular sector here in Oyo State, first of all, what you would think from his head is, how am I going to access that state? Okay, I have an access through the air. I can fly down to the state directly, then do whatever I want to do and go back, rather than having a stopover in another state before driving an hour down to the state. And bearing in mind the kind of negative stories people hear about Nigeria, they will be thinking that, oh, anything can happen to me from Lagos to Ibadan. So having an international airport in Ibadan will definitely increase investors' confidence in coming down to Oyo State to have their investment plan in this state. I know it's not been easy running a class, ordinary class, talk less of a state, especially a complex state like Oyo State. He came in and he took the bull by the horn, and he has turned a lot of things around. First and foremost, he focused more on the infrastructural development. And when you develop infrastructure in your state, it opens the state to investors. I learned through the statistics that of recent, the Oyo State tourist visitors has increased from 3,000 per day to 18,000. Out of that 18,000 that comes, definitely 1,000, 1,005, 2,000 or 2,005 will definitely have an interest in having one or two things to do here that will translate into financial profitability. So far, in the last 6 years of his administration, he has been doing wonderfully well. The roads have been well rehabilitated. All the civil servant workers got their pay as a time when due. And we that are operating in the system are also having some benefit because of what he did in terms of tourist destination development, which he has been doing. And when he asked me to score him, I can, as of today, I can give him 75%. Number one thing everybody will think about is security. When you talk about how friendly an environment is, Engineer Seyi Makinde has taken security as one of his core major things to hold on. And Oyo State has been very, very safe in the last 6 years. That's one rating company that rated Oyo State the third most friendly investment environment in Nigeria currently. Governor Seyi Makinde is a listening governor, very human, understanding governor. Seyi Makinde is a listening governor, very human and friendly.